You're listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio, hosted by Steve Jenny and his satanic assistant, Alex Houdini, both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
We're back. We're back after a short little break, I guess, if you will. Break.
Thanksgiving break for us Canucks.
Yeah, Thanksgiving break. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very filling.
Family, obviously.
Yeah. We went to my sister's. My brother was there with his wife and had our old neighbors over, the guys we do the Halloween thing with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we went over to the in-laws and we had the big dinner and, falling asleep afterwards. No, not really. Oh, but I mean, well, that's what you get when you eat turkey and so
See,
on.
we
and
usually
so
don't
on.
eat turkey.
You didn't have turkey? We didn't have turkey.
No, we had roast chicken.
We had roast beef.
Roast beef.
Oh. Prime rib.
Nice.
To be exact. But it was delicious. Anyhow, yeah. So Thanksgiving, we were off for a week. A Sunday.
Yeah.
Back again.
Back from the dead.
Back from the dead. Oh, so what are you thinking about the weather? I mean, like it's
I don't like it.
It's getting warm again.
I don't fucking like it.
It's getting really warm again, but from what I'm seeing, only up until about Wednesday, and then Wednesday we're supposed to have some rain, and then it's going to drop down again.
Good.
Right. It's a seasonal sort of, aspects, if you will. So hopefully we won't have the same scenario on Friday when we shoot.
Yeah, fuck, no kidding.
No more no more mosquitoes, man.
I'm bringing a fucking mosquito net, man.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Just to give yeah, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. I mean, I did show it. Hold on, let me just see here. Where did I put it? Here we are. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see if this will play. So this is October, and literally, there's mosquitoes galore out here. This is just insane.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like we're swamped with mosquitoes. It's above normal. It was like 20 degrees today. It rained, so of course it makes it worse, being damp and rain, water everywhere. I think you got to keep doing that because that'll probably get rid of them.
I don't know. Maybe it attracts them.
I don't know.
Hey, that's a sweet.
I can't even remember what I said.
But there's literally mosquitoes everywhere. Mosquitoes, see? Mosquitoes. And they're like man-eaters, man. They're fucking huge. Got a recorder going on. This is where we found the bone. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? And we had the encounter with... We've already mentioned it a few times. But that's... Hey, Steven. Hey, Laura. Friday and Mars. How are you all doing? Yeah, it was brutal, man.
It was. And I sincerely hope this Friday, I just looked at the weather. I mean, the weather here anyway, where I live, it's supposed to be a high of 15.
15, it's going to be a little bit more. But at night, it's going to be damp. Like, it's going to be... It's going to be chillier. It's been dropping down. But... I don't know. Hopefully it drops down really quick.
Yeah.
Because that was just brutal, man. Thankfully, I did I did put some bug spray on, but I thought for sure I was going to get bit a few times. But
Gord got fucking molested by those mosquitoes, man.
his legs, yeah,
Fuck.
looked like he shaved his legs.
He had all the cuts from fucking razor burn.
Oh, it was brutal, man, brutal, absolutely. But yeah, plus that there was Friday Night Lights going on.
Yeah. Yeah, there was something at the high school.
Yeah, which is kind of cutting into our time there. That kind of sucks. But hopefully,
But we also heard some coyotes at some point.
well, you like to hope it was just coyotes.
Yeah,
I mean, you
exactly.
never know. Like, I honestly, I think I'm going to do a little bit of a scouting mission there sometime this week because I'm off this week. I'm off for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Are you gonna do that during the day?
Yeah, I'll probably go during the day and just take a look at things. And because you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that perhaps, and I'm surprised that it hasn't been hit up by homeless people, encampments, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
up until this year, they were plowing the fields and they were growing stuff, so it may have been a bit harder.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen a couple in the area, not too far. So, and I think there was a point when there might have been a tent in on the other side of the
Yeah.
woodlot. Hey, Safari, how are you? Good to see you. You know, and so I'm hoping. I mean, who's to say it wasn't somebody, wandering in the forest there, and we were like, oh, the guy's going, oh, what are these fucking freaks doing, man?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they got all these fucking lights and complaining about the mosquitoes.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna bring my night vision binoculars.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good.
So, yeah, I should have brought them the last time, and I'm gonna bring them this. Hey, Adrian, how are you? Gonna bring them this time. So, yeah. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. You're watching and listening to the New Vision or not New Visions Radio Network.
Frequency radio.
Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on our YouTube channel and of course
New Visions Radio.
on the New Visions Radio Network.
Yep.
So however you're catching us, thank you for stopping by. And
Just don't catch us too hard.
no. So kind of a down episode. No guests, no scheduled guests for this one, but we've got I've been working on getting a good friend of mine on for the 27th for the Halloween special. Mike Bracken, who is AKA horror geek, who has been a professional reviewer, and he works for oh god, what specialty network. I can't remember the specialty network he works for, but he's a reviewer for the specialty network, and he talks about reviews horror movies and stuff like that. And I figured it'd be pretty cool to bring him in, and maybe we'll talk about paranormal based and stuff like that, horror movies and things that people need to watch and stuff like that. We'll talk about that. We haven't switch it up a little bit because I mean we've been having the same people on for Halloween, so I figured just do something a little different for this Halloween, anyways. Make it a little darker. You know what I mean?
we need to make our Halloween episodes dark.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so we're gonna make it because Mike really gets right into the really dark side of horror movies. So yeah, it should be interesting. Hopefully he's able to because he's living down in Florida and he was affected by the two canes that ripped through much of Florida, right?
Right.
So he's going to see if he's going to be able to do it. If so, great. If not, then we're going to have to scatter and try to figure out what we're going to do. Plan B will be put into place. However that looks right now, we'll let you know. But as it stands right now, hopefully we are going to have Mike Brackett on to talk about horror movies and more. So yeah,
If not, we'll just have a dark episode.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. A dark episode, just like tonight, tapping into the darkness.
We'll talk about how we need to weed out the undesirables.
There's plenty of those.
Oh fuck. This world's
There's
rife
there's,
with them.
there's plenty of those. And I just want to clarify. We're pretty, I don't want to say nonchalant, but we're pretty honest on how we feel about the paranormal. And it's not that we don't believe that there's something going on. I know myself, I do wholeheartedly believe something's going on. I've experienced stuff that I can't explain, right? But I mean, there's a lot of crap out there, that just really makes you become very vain and disdained with the paranormal, you know. And I know a lot of it is supposed to be entertainment. I get it, but a lot of people out there don't take it as entertainment. They wholeheartedly believe what they're watching.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that too, and much more. I just wanted to point out that our friends over in the UK, they had their Urbageddon yesterday.
Had their what?
Urbageddon. So basically, it's the second Urbageddon. They had the first one last year, obviously. This year was the second one, and literally, it's a gathering of it's kind of like the Gathering was.
Okay.
You know how Gary had the Gathering going.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but it was with urban explorers and paranormal investigators together.
Interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that we've had on the show here, a lot of people like Matt Williams of the Secret Vault and Melissa and John Bengal and all these people that have been on this show or been in the chat and so on and so on were there. And there's one channel, Urban Hangover. Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen any of them live today. I've seen some footage, and it looked like everybody was having a good time. It looked like, I know last year it looked like a blast. I would have loved to have been there. So it would have been pretty cool, but
yeah, we never have good shit like that over here.
No, you know what? Because you don't have that friendship sort of. People are too individual over here. People just don't collab too much. I mean, you do get the odd collab, but you don't get the, there he is. Talk about Urban Hangover, Urban Hangover, Matt Williams of the Secret Vault. Hey, Matt, how are you? Yeah, so it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah,
would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we did have the Gathering here a few years ago, which was pretty cool. I didn't mind it. I think though, with
talking about the one in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you and I met.
Yeah, well, that's where you and I met.
Yeah.
But that was somewhat like that. But that was kind of it was more than just going out and hanging out and just talking and having a little bit of having some guest speakers and blah blah blah. The Urbageddon is sort of like in a pub or whatever, and people gathering and just meeting and having some guest speaking stuff going on and just having a great time. And I think that's what you need. You need to hang out with like-minded people.
Yep.
Get ideas. Get collabs going. I'm sure lots of collabs. And it's not like a lot of them haven't collabed before. I mean, I know a lot of those guys have collabed before. You see it all the time, which is pretty cool. Of course, you got your idiots.
I mean, that goes without saying. I mean, in every walk of life, there's these idiots that like to, screw up things, and hey, they're just jealous. They're just jealous, right?
Just drink it to them.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been talking, for a few years about having a nocturnal gathering.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of, hey, Neil, how are you? That's how I kind of envision it, the gathering kind of like that, just
Never seems to work out for us, though.
Well, I don't think we've really been too serious about the organization of it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's when we got to say, okay, let's get a location, sell some tickets, and bang. I mean, it's not like we got to charge an outlandish fee, like, whatever, $10 or whatever. Then that goes towards, the rental of wherever or whatever, It's not hard, I'm sure. But we'll just have to look into it a little bit, maybe possibly for next year. Who knows? Right? I think it would be fun.
It would be if we can manage to pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. I really would. And invite, some people, local people, like our good friend, Richard Palmisano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stephen, Nocturnal Frequency Radio UK tour.
I would love nothing more than do that.
I would love to do that. Like I said, I would have loved to have been there at Urban Geddon, and hooking up with everybody. That would have been a blast. I'm sure it would have been great. I said that last year too, and maybe next year. It's always maybe next year, but let's make it a reality, right? Let's put a GoFundMe out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, guys, go fund us. Come on, fund us for our UK tour.
That's it. We have to seek help.
Yeah, the UK 2025 UK tour, and it ends. The last tour date is Urban in 2025.
There you go. We got to plan it out here.
There we go, man. We need an official planner for it. But that would be fun. That'd be great. I would, yeah, Stephen, that'd be great. I would love to do that. Really would. Really would. Yeah. So I like I said, I've been watching a lot of stuff here on YouTube and other places, but primarily here on YouTube. And it really like there was another one that I was looking at, a channel called Ghost Notes. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. And he
name.
Yeah, he was he just I think he's premiering a documentary that he shot. And but I was kind of rubbed the wrong way. When I was talking with him, I said, hey, would you like to come on the show? Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. But can't do it right now. I'm too busy putting this documentary together. Okay. You don't want to come on and promote it? Sure. No problem. Hey, whatever.
Whatever floats your boat, buddy.
Whatever. Sorry I asked. Whatever. But yeah, it's kind of like our good friend from years ago. What's his name? Colombo.
Oh fuck! Why do you keep bringing that jackass's name up?
You guys across Canada with other paranormal. Yeah, Canada is fucking vast. It is fucking huge.
Yep.
Very connected with a lot of groups. in the local sort of area. But the structure here is very different than it is in the UK. Very, very different.
Now, the UK seems to be more open-minded about this stuff than it is here in Canada and North America. Well, Canada anyway. Can't speak really for the States because
It's like everybody here is
they're uptight.
trying to climb this mountain that they're never going to reach the top with. It's like
No, exactly.
seriously.
I don't know why people fucking bother sometimes.
I'm popular. Why are you popular? You've got like 50 million, I look at some of these popular shows and go, I just don't understand why. I don't. And honestly, I just don't want to talk about it because then it makes us sound like we're really vain and we're bothered by it, but we're not.
Like petty?
Yeah, like petty. Not at all.
It's
Get it out, Alex. Get it out.
no, what I was gonna say is it's one thing if you're complaining about these people having success and sort of just attacking them personally for it. But if their product is questionable
Mhm.
and they're successful because it's a questionable I mean, that's what it boggles me. Like if they're making these ridiculous claims, which most people in the paranormal field are doing anyway,
Mhm.
to be honest. Right.
Yeah.
So they're not, doing anything that someone else isn't already done or is doing currently.
Mhm.
But if they gain popularity for doing stupid antics and while at the same time making those ridiculous claims,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't be on the internet. Take this stuff seriously. If you don't take it seriously, fuck off, go somewhere else. That's it.
Well said, Alex. Well said.
Mhm.
Well said. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, but unfortunately, like a lot of the trolls or whatever that are out there that are on the kind of the same wavelength is like, wow, why bother? But yeah. Who's gonna bitch about it? I'm not gonna bitch about it. Who cares? I really just don't care. I just you go, you do your thing, and that's okay with me. I'm fine with. I don't care how people are worried about what I do, and or what we do, and whatever else. It's like, people, bitching about this and that, whatever. I mean, hey, good, bad, it's all the same. It's like it's feedback, and that's what we want. We want feedback. I don't care if it's good or if it's bad. I'll have a pint or two with you guys and most of the big channel people. You guys are so grounded. Thank you very much, Stephen. Really appreciate that. We like to hope we like to hope we're grounded.
Either grounded or delusional, one or the other.
Delusional, yeah, delusional and grounded, yeah. Delusionally grounded.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Perfect sense in my world.
Yeah, exactly. But it's I was just reading the chat. Okay. By the way, this week I'm going to have episode 5 of the Woodlot done. I'm making it my mission to break that cold spell with it and get it produced and up and premiere this week, probably Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Most likely.
That was supposed to have been released already, no?
Yeah, it was, but like I said, I've had so many issues with the flow of it.
Right.
It's just not it's not flowing the way I want it. So
use some Metamucil.
yeah. It'll make it flow perfectly well, right? So yeah. So anyways, we're gonna get that up and going.
Looking forward to it. Is that gonna have me cursing about the fucking mosquitoes?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't like them.
You won't like them?
I don't like mosquitoes.
Who likes mosquitoes? I mean,
I don't
come
know.
on.
Gourd,
Seriously.
apparently.
Huh?
Or sorry, gourd. They like gourd. So it's
Gord
the
was
other way
hacked to
around.
shit. He was
I
hacked to
know. He
shit.
was telling you, man. You just got to stop wearing those shorts. Both for that reason and because, it's not summer anymore.
Well, Dr. Demon Gord is all about shorts. It doesn't matter how fucking cold. Like the other day, I was surprised he's wearing fucking pants.
Yeah.
He was wearing fucking pants. He never wears pants. So it's like, what the hell, man? So,
He must have caught him on a bad day.
well, yeah, exactly. Hold on a sec. Okay. Sue. Hi, Sue. How are you? Good to see you, Sue. Let me just yeah.
Come on, let's make fun of some more people.
I'm just reading something. Hold on, give me a sec here. So okay. So let's chat about what we were going to talk about.
What were we going to talk about?
We were going to talk about the vermin and the paranormal.
The vermin.
The vermin.
The bane of the paranormal.
The bane of the paranormal. Yeah.
This is why, and I know you and I have discussed this multiple times in the past, or at least a few times, and sometimes it was heated, sometimes it wasn't. But this is why I keep saying we need some kind of legislation.
Now he's dropping an even bigger bomb here.
Yeah, and I'm slurring already, and I haven't even fucking finished my drink.
Yeah, he's knocking his glass while he's at it too.
Jesus. I'm halfway done this glass, and I'm already
train wreck.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, it's like, okay, where do I even start with this? We haven't advanced in this field in over 100 years.
No.
The equipment's changed to some extent, yes.
But I mean, a lot of that
process is the same,
right?
So we haven't advanced. We haven't come up with any sort of new ideas about the paranormal and what it could be. Because no one out there is actually, I mean, aside from a select few people, like I know Richard's trying to come up with different theories.
Yeah.
Some may hold water, some may not, but at least he's trying.
Yeah.
Right. You can't say that about 98% of fucking everybody else that does this paranormal stuff. Well, but you have the ridiculous claims that come with these groups that annoy the living shit out of me.
There are only a handful of people that I would say I really respect.
Yeah.
I really respect. I mean, and when it comes to their sort of research into the paranormal, and one of them is Michael Esposito.
Yes, that's right.
I highly respect what he has done in the department or the section of the paranormal known as electric voice phenomenon or audio, period. This guy is fucking brilliant.
But that's what I'm saying. People like this is what's needed. The problem is, here's the problem, Steve. The problem is in this field, because there's no regulations and there's no regulatory body, anyone and their uncle can be a paranormal investigator.
Oh, absolutely. But at the same time,
this is part of the problem.
It is. Right? But in the same token, you ask a guy like Michael Esposito, would you like to have your work regulated? He would tell you no.
No. So, time out here. Okay. When I say regulated,
yes.
Okay, I'm talking about more of if you're going to come out as a group or as an individual and you're going to make a ridiculously bold claim about the paranormal, you better be ready to back it up. right? Right now,
Yeah.
you don't have to,
No, you're right.
right?
I mean,
So
well,
even with the scientific community,
hey,
you're
Julie.
allowed to test whatever the f you want,
Mhm.
right? And if you come up with a theory about something during your testing, it gets either proven or disproven through time and through other peer review stuff and whatever process they go through,
Yeah.
right? But you're still allowed to do whatever you want. I'm not talking about regulation in the sense of you can do this and you can't do that. No.
But
If
don't
you're
you
going to
think?
be
But
go
don't
on.
you think? Sorry, don't you think if that regulation sort of creeps in, don't you think it's going to expand to that point though?
Nah, not really.
You don't think so?
No. No. I mean, you'll have the bad apples, no doubt about that, but that's everywhere you go, right? You're going to have individuals within said organization who is going to want, have someone rub his dick too hard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that, hold on, I got to read the comment. Looking at, yeah. Well, yeah, because nobody takes this field seriously. Period.
No.
This is another problem, right? The problem with it being the Wild West, which is basically what it is now,
Oh yeah.
no one's
Absolutely.
going to take it seriously ever.
Absolutely what it is.
Right? Yeah, it's the Wild West. Anyone and everyone can be a paranormal investigator, can be a ufologist, can be a cryptozoologist, can be, an expert in whatever fucking field you want to come up with.
Yeah.
And there's no repercussion when someone makes a ludicrous claim. This is the point I'm trying to make, right?
And
You will not be held accountable when you make a ridiculous claim without any sort of proof to back it up. That's just it, right?
Neil says, is there technology in other fields of science? Absolutely. And that's what you use. You utilize a lot of different technologies in different fields of science with the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do, I almost lost my voice there. I might add, puberty. I might add, you are frowned upon by the masses now. It is so out of hand that when you try to be rational with these people and explain properly what is going on, they look at you and go, "You're fucking stupid," right?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Cheers, Matt. Can't hear you, Matt.
No audio. Uh-oh. Nothing.
Uno momento, por favor.
But you're frowned upon.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into some of these places and you literally try to be rational about a situation. Say somebody posts a picture and you've got a photography background and you've seen the phenomenon 50 million times. And you try to tell the person, okay, this is what's happening in your photo.
Yeah.
You can recreate it if you try.
Yeah.
Did you try to recreate it? No. Why would I do that?
But this is my point.
Why would I recreate it?
This is my point.
Mm-hmm.
I know when people hear me say regulation, they automatically jump to the worst case scenario where, if it's regulated, I'm not going to be able to do this, and this. No, that's not true. That's a bunch of bullshit because we didn't get to where we are today technologically and scientifically by not testing new theories.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So that's not a concern in my eyes, really. What concerns me about the paranormal field and what has concerned me over a number of years now is, as I said earlier, it's the Wild West, meaning anyone can make any claim whatsoever without having any proof.
Exactly.
That's the only thing I'm saying. If you have a governing body, that governing body will hold you to it and will make you try to come up with the proof. If you don't come up with the proof, they're going to say, not discount it. It's not even worth looking into. Right?
Yeah.
The problem is that when you talk about something like that, it's people who want to do this as something fun to do are going to say, well, then I won't be able to do it if there's a governing body. Who says? You can still go out and investigate all you want. The problem is, if you make a claim, you're going to have to be able to back it up. Otherwise, it's just going to be thrown out with the baby in the bathwater.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just
It's like I can buy a chemistry set at the science store or whatever. Back in the day when you can actually get those chemistry sets and do whatever you want. If you blow yourself up, that's your problem. Are you having a sex conversation online or something?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go. There's Matt.
Hey, there you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're there, buddy.
There we go.
Now we can hear you.
I just, sorry, I thought I was muted then as well. Sorry.
No.
I took my mixing desk's power supply out to go and do a live event. And of course I come on and, I never ever take the power supply out ever. And I had to take it out. And then of course I come on and I'm like, it's not working. Well, because the power supply's in the kitchen. So that would explain it. Yeah. Hey folks, it's paranormal.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't believe it.
Tommy is right. And that's what I've been saying for years. I've been saying this for years. There's no tools designated for the paranormal.
No, there isn't.
You have tools being made,
and that's the other problem. That's the other problem.
Yeah, you have these gadgets being made, primarily for, show and tell.
There have been devices which are scientific devices, which have been created by the military to test paranormal effects.
Okay, so like what?
Well, we're just talking about the general public here.
But
granted, I have no doubt that the military has weapons that we have absolutely no clue about. No doubt about that. What I'm referring to more is like what's readily available to you and I. Like, say if you want to go out, investigate a allegedly haunted location, whatever's available to you now is not designed to be able to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I did say at the beginning. Hello, Alex. Hello. Steve. Because I tried to say that, but it wasn't coming out. I was reading this really interesting book called Phenomena by Annie Jacobson. Highly recommend it. If it doesn't bend your mind, like in a scientific way, talking about things that you can actually go and check. Did this really happen? Yes, it did. Because she's basing it on government files, research work that's been done, scientific papers that have been done. And yet you can just flush all of that down the toilet because people don't really want to know. No. And the government didn't want to know. Even the people, because there were remote viewing experiments done with Stanford Labs and Hal Puthoff and and others there. And they went into this front to back, is this stuff real? Can people affect things with their mind? Are they able to pick up telepathic messages? And they said, well, yes, it works. It really does work. And here's the scientific proof of it, because, we've done double blind, triple blind tests, and people have been able to work shit out through remote viewing, find things, find, people who'd been kidnapped, find aircraft that had gone down in the jungle, and sort of like say, there it is, and put a pin on it on a map and say, there it is. And then they go there and there's the aircraft, and it's like so many examples of things that they've done that worked with remote viewing. So they said, well, can we show how this is working, whether it works in a completely remote environment where there's no electromagnetic fields? So they Faraday caged this stuff off, and yet it still worked, and then they said, well, can we actually put it to the test like with quantum type devices? And they had an electric field meter, which was in concrete, like, a couple of 100 feet down in a scientific establishment. And they said, can somebody affect this device with their mind? And they...
Oh, we just lost you again.
You lost your audio again, yeah.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go.
It sometimes does that on StreamYard. I don't know, it kicks out. You know, they were able to test this stuff on a scientific device where they said somebody is going to project into this device and try and affect it. And basically, this thing is like flat line white noise, you know, and it's been picking up the same white noise for 10 years. And then somebody says, I'm going to affect it with the power of my mind. And they go, go on then. And it's like, bing, it starts getting signals. And then it's like, and then they go, right, don't do it now. And it's like back to like days of sort of, you know, and then the testing and calibrating it, you know, just making sure the equipment's, and they go on, do it again. And it's like, ping, you know, and it's like, so there is proof of this stuff, but the military just flushed it all down the toilet. They said, yeah, you know, but we don't really want it to be part of our procedures. You know, it's like intelligence gathering. They were able to sort of like draw designs of something that was being done in a Russian dockyard, you know, so some new ship that was being built. And they said, like, you know, here's the gantry towers and drawing it all out. And it's kind of like, and they said, no, the Russians ain't doing this. Anyway, when they rephotographed that area, they found out they were, you know, they were like, oh shit, this shit, look, it's just
a simple way. Here's a simple way that I'd like to sort of throw out there. Everybody, not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, I'm generalizing. A lot of people will say if you think negatively constantly, it will affect your health. That in and of itself is proof that the mind is capable of altering physical objects. Granted, it's connected, obviously, it's your body. But the opposite can also be said. If you think positively, you will get healthier. Right? Just the sheer fact that you thinking one way or another will either severely impact your health one way or the other should be proof that we have the ability to alter the physical world, basically. On a I can't remember if it's a macro, micro, which one's a smaller one, but macro scale, let's say. You could also, with practice and devotion, for lack of a better term, you can just sort of expand upon that and just try to affect others in the field. I got a funny story for you guys. Years ago, I was with some friends. We were at a coffee shop, just having coffees and shooting the shit. Yeah, coffee shop, coffee. Go figure, right? And I was feeling particularly drained that night. No, I had no reason why, right? I had plenty of sleep the night before. I didn't know why I was feeling drained. So the friend one of the friends that was with me has always claimed to be a sensitive, right? So I didn't say anything to anyone. I'm sitting almost across from her, kind of, and I'm trying to test something. I'm trying to see if I can visualize energy coming from another individual that was at another table behind us, sort of visualize me, for lack of a better term, stealing energy from the guy, just to see if I could do it. I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. My friend was talking to the other person next to her, and all of a sudden she stops and looks at me. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Trying to get energy from the guy behind you." And he goes, "Well, you're hitting me. Stop it." So this is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it can be done. I truly believe if you focus enough, if you practice enough, you can alter reality, or at the very least, your reality. Right.
Neil asked a good question. Is there any way a pulse could be generated through electrical energy? This could stimulate latent paranormal activity.
Just trying to think about what that book now. They reckon the people that had UFO experiences became more telepathic. That was part of the book.
I heard about that.
I'm just trying to think now. Was there anything else they said in the book that was right into that? But yeah, because it really did break down a hell of a lot of stuff. You know, it's worth a read if you're sort of thinking, I don't want anecdotal. I want something that's been properly researched scientifically, you know, and bears actual fruit. You know, like the problem with a lot of this EVP ghost stuff is, and I've been guilty of this, which is why I don't do it much on the channel. Is you go to a house, you hear some voices on the tape, you know, things are said, but then there's no follow up, you know. So if you want something that has follow up, you know, the military were using this stuff, and it was getting results, and it was scientifically tested, and you know, that's one of the best books I've read in a long time on this subject. But I think the subject is amorphous as well, because it becomes hard for the average person to pin it down, you know, and you get carried away with the kind of the fun of having voices coming through and how
exactly, yeah.
but it's not, you know, there's no follow up, you know, it's not done in a totally controlled environment, and you know, the world and his brother can get involved, and it is good entertainment, but you know, don't you think as well? I mean, like, people who are involved in this, we've got a real problem, you know, you guys and myself included, because I mean, I've experienced this, is there's a lot of pushback from the religious world, you know, that doesn't want you to look into this stuff. They don't want you to. There's a lid put on it, and ridicule and kind of scorn and don't do it. And then from society at large, you know, the kind of like the sheep that just kind of follow that, you know, and they go, oh yeah, it's not real. Ha, 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 ha. It's just entertainment, you know. So you got a lot of pushback from the public, you know.
That's ironic. That's
well,
ironic.
You look at, you know, the US, for instance, you know, kind of carrying on with what you said there, Matt. You look at famous people like Ed and Lorraine Warren, right? And their approach was always religious, very highly religiously based views on the paranormal. A lot of the stuff that's going on in their minds was demonically, you know, calibrated. And you're like, but they were, I don't know if it was just them running with it because it seemed to be working. People were paying attention. And of course, people are going to pay attention. Like you look at famous, you know, cases like the Amityville Horror, for instance, the Conjuring House. I mean, that's stirred up a shitload of crap lately as well. You know, like all this stuff that, you know, and now obviously a series of movies that have been put out there based on their work has, you know, literally entertained what's the word, basically propped their sort of these small little segments of their research and broadened it to a point where it's like, oh wow, this is amazing. And there's really not much to it when you look down to it. I mean, a lot of the stuff that they dealt with, like even over there in the UK with the Ensfield case, right? I mean, they were attached to that, you know, and you sit there and go, man, but people sit there and buy into this shit. They wholeheartedly believe what they're saying is the Bible of the paranormal Bible, if you will.
A lot of people believe what they see on TV. That's why they watch the news. And I mean, you know it sounds trite to say, you know, kind of people are kind of sheeple, but
it's true.
You know, it is. They kind of listen to what they said on TV. They all put on their masks during the big C, you know, and they were like ready to get jabbed up with things that ended up harming them. And they're still in denial of that now. You know, it's kind of like, you know, people don't like being proved wrong. And I think people's paradigm is they have a comfort zone and they want somebody else to make decisions for them and somebody else to think for them. And then if you say to them, like, you know, oh, but don't you think for yourself? And they're like, of course I think for myself, but I let somebody else tell me everything I'm meant to be thinking, but I'll justify it. Like, it's like a schism, like a loop. They do a loop in their mind. They're like, no, I'm totally myself. I make my own decisions, but I'm going to do everything that I'm told to do, you know? And it's like, and they're thinking on the paranormal is it probably in the same vein. It's like, I have a comfort zone I'm not going to listen to what you've got to say. I'm just going to deal with it. It's entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
That's the way people. It's just like, you know, it's just entertainment. It's not real, and it's like, because if it was real, they'd have to change their life radically to kind of like accept that, and they're not prepared to kind of step outside the comfort zone. So
No.
the wolf, which is government and religion, the wolf kind of like barks people back into place. And then they're more than happy to justify that by saying, well, it can't be real because, well, I'm more comfortable it's not. So it's not. You know, it's kind of, people are very, very reluctant to step outside that comfort zone, you know.
You know,
I say fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep going into
Sadly.
this. I keep going into this situation and think about the experiences that I've had, you know, investigating the paranormal, and, you know, explaining a lot of it rationally. But there's times when I sit there and I go, okay, you know, there's times, you know, just an example, you know, you're in an area it's completely silent. You're hearing just white noise, and it's just peaceful and serene. Like you're by the water, you're by a river or something, and you're in this old abandoned, you know, grist mill or whatever that's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for like 150 years or whatever. And you're just sitting there waiting for something to happen, and nothing really does happen. But all of a sudden you just hear what sounds like a voice saying something. And there's nobody there with you. You know there's nobody there with you. And you go, what the hell? And then you review your audio or whatever, if you got some video going or whatever, and the audio presents the same thing, but only more sort of you know, announced. It's clear because it's been recorded. And you're like, what the hell? You know, what the hell? How do you explain that? Other than, okay, maybe there was just some, you know, stray person just like walking by or whatever, or just you know, maybe it's an animal that just happens to sound like, you know, they're talking when they do a certain sound or whatever. There's all sorts of things that you can explain, but when that sort of voice is clear, it's like I heard what it said. It said this, and even in the recording, you can hear it being said. It just doesn't make sense. What do? What do you drive yourself? You literally drive yourself insane to explain what that is. Is it real, Matt? Is it real? Is it something that's forced there to make us believe something that's not real? You know? Is it a part of our genetic makeup, you know, maybe the brain, to fool you into believing that these things are happening, but they're not, to keep you occupied or whatever, however it's supposed to be. I mean, to me, it just seems like there seems to be some sort of nefarious sort of underlining aspect to all of this, that, okay, we don't want you to know what's really happening, but we'll feed you this. Oh, no audio, Matt.
Give it a good smack.
Yeah.
Doing now? Yeah. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
there you
Hello.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
God.
go.
Yeah. Sorry. I was going to say, I think it depends on your perspective, because, you know, you're going to get people on one side who are going to get frightened by that, and you're going to get people like myself who would be quite excited by that, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't necessarily always come down on the, oh shit, you know, who's that?
Yeah.
What's that? Because I've literally forced myself, because I used to be somebody, like as a kid, I was like scared of the dark, scared of going out, but I didn't believe in the paranormal back then, you know, and I didn't believe in those sorts of things, but I was still scared. And I forced myself out of my comfort zone to literally go out and walk the hills at night on my own, you know, and sit down miles from anywhere and just taking the view. And as you say, like, you hear a crunch, you hear noises, and you work out, oh, that's a badger, that's a fox, that's a
Yeah.
this, that's a
Yeah.
that. And there's usually an explanation for things. And then you actually think, do you know what? I actually enjoy being out here, on my own, without the comfort of having somebody with me, to kind of like, feel like, oh, we're together. So, you're safer because you're together, and get out of that comfort zone. And I've tried to push myself in the paranormal realm as well, to not necessarily be frightened by weird things that happen. And I mean, I've seen enough now, I think, in my life to know that the paranormal is real, UFOs are real, ghosts are real. That I think, well, why should I be necessary, unless I really feel internally like, oh shit, this feels negative, like, then I'd probably go, well, maybe I should get out of here, but generally when something happens, I go, oh, cool, that's great. Yeah, I like more of that, please. And I think for a lot of people, they go into it for like the scare factor, like the House of Horrors. They want to go in, do a ghost thing, something's going to happen, so it scare them, and they'll go away going, oh yeah, that was a really scary night, I was really scared at that, and it's like I think that's the wrong emphasis.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah. But
that's
they
what
come
most
away
people are
with,
doing it for.
yeah. And I mean, I don't see it like that. And I think if you're going to kind of keep going at it and all you're getting out of it is being scared by it, then really you're probably actually going to convince yourself it's demons and negative. And yet, I mean, I was listening to you downstairs, and I'll mention it now because to get it out of the way, thought came into my head, and I thought I'll see if I come on the show. It's this point, is that I've been doing this stuff from about 19 years of age when I had my first UFO sighting, and it got me into all this sort of stuff. I've met lots of people, had loads of information on it, seen loads of things, seen lots of UFOs now, seen lots of ghosts, and had lots of paranormal in the crop circles. And do you know what? I have no fucking clue what's going on. Right? I have a lot more information. I'm a lot more clued up. I know the potentials of all these ideas of what it could be. But you know what? I cannot pick one solid answer of what this actually is and where it's coming from.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
No one can.
I mean,
that's the problem.
You have all these experiences that hey, look, it's outside the scope of our understanding. Okay, something's going on, but what? You think you're getting close and you have an explanation, and then all of a sudden something goes, no, that doesn't make any sense.
See, and this is where I say the difference between someone like, us, for example. You have people out there who will take those experiences, Matt, like the experiences that you've had, come up with some asinine conclusion based on nothing really, and pose it as reality. This is part of the issue with this field, all right, with the paranormal field in particular, because you'll have these theories about, it's dearly departed Aunt Martha who's left, and she's not able to cross over, and we got.
Why are you always picking on Aunt Martha for?
I don't know. It's just one of those things, right? But the point
let her die already. Let her rest.
Yeah, exactly. Let her go, for fuck's sake.
She can't pass over because we keep trying to talk to her.
Yeah. But that's the problem I have with this field, is the fact that there's too many people making asinine claims when really we know nothing about the field, really, truly. Right?
But it's exciting though. I think
this is I was going to actually bring this up on the second hour, but the part of the reason why a lot of us do this, and part of the reason why, even though towards the beginning of the show I said something about having an organization to govern this, it's never going to happen, and I know it. But
too much politics, too much.
No, but that's
everyone will want to make it their thing, And,
but that's the drawback of humanity. That's how we are. We're fucking stupid, right? The problem is but here's the flip side to that, Matt. To be the devil's advocate, is you're absolutely right. There's too many people who can be corrupted, too many politics, and this is why part of the reason why it won't work. The other flip side to that, being devil's advocate, is we're never going to get anywhere in this field unless you have cohesion. Right now, there's absolutely no cohesion. right? Everybody, it's like I said earlier, it's the Wild West. Everybody can make whatever claim they want,
Yep.
saying this is what it is, and there's nothing trying to further the understanding of the paranormal. This is part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The flip side to that is you establish an organization. Yes, it can become corrupt because people are fucking stupid, and it's going to happen. However,
man,
for the field
corruption.
itself, for the study of the supernatural, it can be beneficial. Not so much the organization itself. The organization could be doing fundraisers, pocketing the fucking money, going on vacations like the government does. But it'll further the actual understanding of the field, which is really at the end of the day what I would like. Right? I could care less. I know people are corrupt. I know people are fucking stupid. This world needs a fucking enema. I've been saying this for years. There's too many people on this planet who are abusing and using too much valuable oxygen that I think they shouldn't be. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Alex, hold it there. We're going to take
Alex, the genocidal maniac.
Yes,
I'm only kidding.
You're listening to us on New Visions Radio Network, and of course, watching us here on YouTube. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Our good friend Matt Williams is with us. Hold tight.
I'm Richard Palmisano, the founder of the Searcher Group. It's a paranormal company, the oldest in Canada, founded in 1979, which not only makes me old, but makes me doing paranormal research and field work for just under 45 years now. I am also an author, researcher, and lecturer on the paranormal. I've written 6 books now. And I really enjoy coming on with Steve and Alex on Nocturnal Frequency Radio, as well as listening to the shows, because there's a lot of interesting guests there. I like it, looking at this stuff, because it opens your mind to other options and other alternative thoughts. There's always time to learn new things. So I hope you join us and come and see Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Thank you.
So let me ask you, what makes for good radio?
My 5 favorite songs all day long.
Play it again.
No.
As many commercials as physically possible.
What? No, why would that be good?
Great music, great talk shows, no commercials.
Precisely. New Visions Radio gives you no commercials, no nonsense, just the best new music and the best talk all day long, 24/7, 365. NewVisionsRadio.com.
Hey guys, Kristen here, host of the Paranormal Girl podcast, a bingeable exploration and deep dive education about the paranormal for the skeptical believer. Some of my past season topics have included shadow people, Mandela effect, demons, and UFOs. Currently, I am tackling Bigfoot. I have been sharing this journey with my audience since early 2021, and I have learned a lot these last few years. It's truly a mysterious world out there beyond our perceptions, and reality is just not what it seems. I have also, since the start, met some awesome folks like Alex and Steve, and I've really enjoyed watching and learning from them and also joining them on their show. Their guests are always outstanding, their listeners are just the coolest, and these hosts are some of my favorite people. I recommend their show to anyone looking for an intelligent and fun conversation about the paranormal amongst friends. So join me on my investigation, join Steve and Alex on theirs, and enjoy. Now back to the show. You are watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
And that you are, we lost Matt. Oh, there you are. What happened?
StreamYard went glitchy and then kicked me off.
Oh, well, welcome back, everyone. You're, of course, tuned into the New Visions Radio Network, and of course, here on our YouTube channel. Matt, so how was Urbageddon this year?
It was really nice. You know, it's nice to see a bunch of people coming together, you know, from different parts of the country, and it was all positive. And, you know, even though there were a couple of types that you were talking about earlier on who wanted to bring it down, you know, and kind of, you know, you always get a few gnats, you know, flying around trying to cause shit, you know. Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, you know, you can't bring down a bunch of positive people who want to do something good. You know, it's not going to happen. You know, you will get people who kind of try to do that. You're going to get your Philip classes and all these fucking like skeptics and debunkers in the paranormal world, you know, and they're like, no, I'm going to shit on this, you know, and it's like, but ultimately, no, it was a good event.
I don't get why they'd want to shit on like an event, a gathering like that. Just like, honestly, it's like people getting together and just like enjoying each other.
Because they got massive self-loathing in their own lives, and they hate life in general, and so they want to bring everyone else's down instead of just getting on with it. And even though you got your differences, you know, just turn up and just, so you don't like that guy over in the corner, so just don't go and talk to that guy over in the corner, you know, but come to the event and, you know, socialize. But some people don't seem to grasp that concept, you know. It's like, You know, like a bit like Alex was saying. I mean, I kind of like find myself walking in the park thinking like flies. I wish there was a button I could push where every fucking fly in the world and every bacteria would disappear, and then probably the human race would die, because there would be, you know, the whole ecosystem would like fail, and you know, if we didn't have bacteria in our bodies, we'd probably die, because our bodies are meant to be part of that kind of like fight that's going on in there. And without it, you know, it's kind of like you can't exist. So, but I'm really glad that there's people who want to kill people live in other countries, you know, like in terrorists, like over there, and you know, let them get on with that shit over there if they want to get on with it, you know. So but
it sounded like it was like I mean, I watched a couple of the lives there, you know, Gav's live there, and you guys talking away, and it seemed pretty cool, man. So like last year's, you know, it seemed like you guys primarily had a good time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think life in general is a fight, isn't it? It's a fight from birth till death to stay alive.
Yeah.
You ever watch that show 1,000 Ways to Die?
No, I haven't actually.
What's it called?
Is it good?
1,000 Ways to Die. It was on TV years and years ago, but it basically it's a reenactment show, but of cases that actually happened, like people who've died doing stupid shit. You know what I mean? And part of I think the slogan was, there's so many ways to die. It's a wonder how we've even survived this long, or that, you know, to something to that extent, right? But it's so true. I mean, you could easily die so quickly by doing one stupid thing. You know what I mean?
And there's a lot of people that do that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm surprised that we as a society have exploded in population, considering there's so many ways we could die.
And there's so many more creatures out there, you know, like that are, I think, flies. There's more flies in the world than there are people, you know, and they take up a lot more energy and food than we do. And yet people are still kind of walking around. You've got these George Soroses who kind of like, we've got to depopulate the world. You know, we're all taking up too much resources. You know, and it's like, no. These people, they want to get rid of everybody else. So it's just more for them.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. You know, it kind
more
of
stupidity for themselves, right?
Yeah. You know,
what was the agenda? The agenda was 500,000. I think 500,000 people was the Gates magic number or something like that.
And then you got Elon Musk going, no, there's not enough people in the world, you know, and it's kind of like I agree, you know, that you drive along the roads, there's so much countryside, there's so much resources, there's you know, and people are moaning going, no, we need less of this, we need less. And it's like, you know, people have kind of bought into this green thing.
Oh, we lost your voice.
Lost your audio.
People.
Nope.
Hello.
There you go.
Hi, there you go.
I got to shout at it to kind of activate it. I think it's StreamYard or something, but yeah.
I think it's like sadomasochism. It likes when you shout at
it. Yeah.
No, but for me, I think the world is overpopulated simply because of the fact that there's too many stupid people in the world.
That's because you live in Canada and you're afraid that the null might come here, and it's already coming here.
I want depopulation for the sheer fact that there are too many stupid people in this world. That's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying. There's just too many stupid people in this world. Yeah.
I'm just always amazed because I like to drive fast, and you know, I overtake people. I don't do it in a horrible, nasty, aggressive way, but I just overtake them because they're going fucking slow. But oh boy, do people get like a fucking like they explode. It's like you're fucking demeaning their ego. Like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? You know, overtaking me. I'm gonna put my foot down and stop him. And it's like, now we're in a war. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go slow? Have at it. I appreciate you going slow, but I'm going to overtake you. Why don't you want to let me overtake you? Because you know you're going slow, so therefore why don't you care that somebody wants to overtake you? No, I'm going slow, so everyone must go slow with me. And it's like this kind of mentality of like, well, I don't understand it's like paranormal. You're like, fucking paranormal? No, there's no paranormal. You must be down here with me. It's like people get very funny about people who kind of, break the molds and want to do something different. And they're like, no, the world should be this small and in this little box. And you guys are all trying to get outside the box. And fuck you. You got to be in the box with me.
Yeah. It's so true. It's like, you're venturing outside that comfort zone, and people don't like it.
Yes,
they want to bring you back in. They want to drag you back in.
And as much as I wouldn't want to live in China, I'm really glad it exists, because it just really shows how fucking stupid and fucked up things can be, and how people can literally buy into that shit and live with it and put up with it and go, okay, I'm going to go to work for 20 hours a day and I'm getting no money, and and they're feeding me fake food and they're lying to me, but oh, well, I'm going to carry on, and it's like, well, great. I'm really glad for you, but it's like, yeah, that's not for me. Thank you very much, But yeah, people want to drag you into that box, and they want you to be down where they are,
Yeah.
And I don't understand that kind of thinking, Religion's like that, religion doesn't want you talking to the paranormal, doesn't want you like, some religions do. I mean, some, like in India, they kind of embrace reincarnation and the spirit world, and they're all cool about it, but like the West is kind of like reductionist in many ways. Although we have the best technologies, they're very reductionist.
This is why I was saying it was ironic earlier, because on the one hand, they don't want you to do that, but at the same time expect you to believe in a supernatural being.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of ironic.
There's plenty of it in the Bible, isn't there?
Yeah.
I can write hey, Steve, I got an idea. Let's write a Bible about the paranormal and see how many we can convert.
Well, it's already done already, isn't it?
Not our version.
Yeah. The what would you call it? What would you call
the correct version?
The correct version.
That's right.
The version of all versions.
That's it.
We'll get the intro. We'll get the preface or the intro written by Matt Williams of the Secret Vault.
There you
go. That you realize if we get that out in time, we'll have to do that UK tour next year.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. But getting back to it, the way people present, and I say this in quotations, obviously, evidence of the paranormal. And I mean, what are your thoughts, Matt? When people say evidence, and clearly they don't have a clue what they're dealing with when they say evidence.
Well, I suppose, you could kind of go down the line of, all you need is 5 people to convict somebody of murder with no evidence, no physical evidence, just 5 people say that happened, and then you could convict somebody of murder, and it's kind of like, so verbal evidence and verbal testimony is kind of evidence. And, on one hand, you could say somebody murdered somebody, and that would be accepted in a court. But if 5 people said, I saw a UFO, like, that's not evidence. But if you say 5 people saw somebody burgling a place, that's evidence. But if 5 people said they saw a UFO, well, that's just weird and paranormal, and that's not evidence.
Yeah. Oh, we lost your audio again.
Just bust out your whip, Matt. Whip it. Can't hear you.
No, your audio. No audio, Matt.
Let me change the settings on StreamYard and turn off something or another. Echo cancellation, background noise. There we are. So maybe that'll stop it happening now.
Okay, hold on.
Any better now?
Yeah, I'm just going to bring your audio up. You're a little low. But
Okay. Yeah, somebody gets to decide, or society gets to decide this is evidence or that's not evidence, But it's kind of like, there shouldn't be that kind of, yeah. It's kind of like the gestalt, like 5 people can get together in a court and say that somebody burgled something and then they burgled it, but 5 people get together and say we saw a UFO, but that's not valid, not acceptable, not evidence, means nothing, So we've got this kind of like schism in society where, kind of like the whole legal system is based on verbal testimony of what you experienced. But if you start to veer into these realms, then it's not evidence and it means nothing. It's not anything. It's nothing. It's zero.
It's not scientifically based.
Yeah.
It's pseudoscience. It's witchcraft.
But it's kind of like the whole of the legal system, which everyone's wrapped up in. Your tax, politics, everything legal is about, kind of people could go in and convict somebody based on their testimony of what they say happened. But when it comes to the paranormal, not acceptable.
What about you, Alex?
What about me?
What do you think about it?
I thought I already spewed my intent.
What you're done? You're done spewing?
Oh fuck! You want to get me started again?
Well, yeah.
About what?
Evidence.
Evidence?
Do you think it should be called evidence? Do you think it's real evidence?
No.
Do you think
no? It's not. No.
Somebody asked
and here's
me
the problem. Here's the reason why I don't say it's evidence. Okay. Much like religion, you have someone who said they spoke to God, let's say. Right? We don't know whether that person had some kind of hallucination, had some kind of mental issue going on. We don't know that. They definitely didn't know that at the time because this wasn't discovered until much, 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 much later, after these people made these claims. Right? And there are plenty of people on the street now who are going about their daily business undiagnosed with some kind of delusion or whatever it may be. Right? So when I say that I saw something, did I really see it? That's the key, right? To your point, Matt, earlier about, the court system, when we're talking about someone physical burglaring something, that kind of is a little bit more firm. But if I say I saw something in the sky that I thought was a UFO, were you actually seeing something in the sky that was a UFO? Or were you seeing a meteor? Or were you seeing an airplane that you misconstrued as a... That's the issue. That's part of the problem with this whole field that we're dealing with. There's no sure way of knowing whether the person who's making the claim, A, is of sound mind, and B, actually saw what they claim they saw. That's the problem, right? Now you have 5 people saying the same thing. Yeah. Again, to your point, Matt, 5 people saying the same thing. They may have very well have seen something. The question isn't what they saw at that point. The question is, what was it that they saw? Not whether they actually saw something or not. And this is where it gets kind of in that gray area, right? Because if I'm not there, I can listen to someone making a claim about seeing a ghost or a UFO or a cryptid or whatever the case may be, and in my mind, I try not to be judgmental because who knows? They may very well have seen something, right? However, it's hard for me to just outright believe them wholeheartedly until I'm there and see it myself. Then and only then, to me, will I say, yeah, it's there. But Matt, you could say something that you saw something. Steve could say he saw something. Like that time we were at the woodlot and you guys saw that wisp. I wasn't there that day, but if I was there, I probably would have said, nah, I didn't see anything. That's just me. I never fucking see anything anyway. I'm just a fucking deterrent, right?
Take care, Friday.
We'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Friday.
Yeah. But anyway, that's basically my point on evidence with with respect to the paranormal. It's very iffy at best. There's a lot of gray area there, and even the most sane people, well, quote unquote sane people, are not immune from hallucination or whether it be auditory hallucinations or visual hallucinations. I mean, you could have someone who's straight laced their whole life. They may have gone through a bout of sleepless nights. They may have some kind of medical condition. They're taking some medication for that causes them to hallucinate. There's so many factors in what can be construed as paranormal that it's very hard for me to take it to heart and just wholeheartedly believe it. The one thing I always say is I believe you saw something. I can believe that you actually saw or witnessed something. Whether that is actually paranormal is a different ballgame.
Oh, no audio, Matt.
Hello.
Smack it. There you go.
Smack it. Hello.
Oh.
No, nothing.
Nope. There was some for a second.
What? Anything? Hello?
There you
now we
are.
can hear
There you are. There you are.
Right.
There you are.
No, you're gone again.
Lost again.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, the thing
There you
is,
go.
the thing is, I mean, my VU meters on my mixing desk always show that I'm having audio, so it seems like it's something in the computer. I don't know.
You're good now. We can hear you now.
I was going to say that, and this applies to myself because I can't discount that this may have been a thing, is that maybe people who are 99.9% of the time perfectly sane and would pass every type of medical test for sort of schizophrenia or whatever, or sort of like hallucinations or epilepsy or whatever that might be a cause for kind of seeing some of this stuff. Yeah, we could all still have little moments where we just sort of like our brain just goes, and we think we're seeing shit,
Yep.
Or experiencing things, and it can't be discounted. I suppose extra evidence, like the military, with this UFO stuff that's coming out at the moment, they say that they're not interested in what the public says they see, because they're only interested in if you get it on radar, photograph, visual, sighting, send an aircraft out, see it. So they've got all this different corroborative evidence. Then they go, well, that is real. To them, that's the bar that has to be set before they believe in something. But it's kind of funny that they kind of dismissed all the remote viewing stuff years ago. Now they're saying like, oh yeah, UFOs are real because we've got all this evidence now. And it's like, but you had all this evidence that you were using to gather intelligence using remote viewing, but you went, no, push it away. So we got a hell of a way to go with kind of getting our governments to kind of accept that maybe weird shit does happen. Lots of weird shit happens.
Yep.
But you got so much pushback, to kind of say, no, just carry on working, pay your taxes, fuck all that shit. Just remember this. This world that we kind of push you in, this box we push you into, that's more important. I really wish, and I'm hoping, and I've been saying this for many years, that we get like a massive UFO, thing happens where everyone now knows it's real and we have some sort of confirmation, because I want to push people out of their fucking comfort zones, because people really need to kick up the arse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A massive disclosure, massive. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
I think it'd just be really good for people to say, like, hey, you thought you fucking knew it all, now what you gonna do? Nah. Yeah?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're going to shit their pants to start.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all been there, because, I mean, we all kind of know that weird shit goes on. Although, Alex, you say you haven't really experienced very much.
I have experienced things that have made made me scratch my head, right? I'm not saying I've been completely devoid of experiences, but it happens so infrequently with me that When someone comes to me and says they experience paranormal activity, whether it be, hauntings or whatever, almost on a nightly basis, I just can't conceive it in my head, because for me, things that have happened to me in my life have happened so infrequently that it's like, well, are you sure you're all there? You know what I mean? That's my, like, I know, and I don't say that because I don't, I'm not going to jump to that conclusion either, but it kind of makes me wonder, because when we as paranormal investigators have gone out to do investigations, it is so infrequent that we get stuff, whether on audio or video or whatever, that for someone to say that I have paranormal, stuff happen to me almost on a nightly basis, kind of makes you wonder. You know what I mean?
Is this person,
Is this person
having
all
some sort
with
of
it?
mental problem or whatever?
Right.
That comes into mind. And of course, with a skeptical mind, you might be able to find rational explanations for some of these things that people would say are weird. I mean, I've had people saying, like, oh yeah, the men in black are after me, because I saw a car drive past the window, and I go, yeah, but how do you know that car was there for you? Oh, it definitely was, because it slowed down. And it's like, yeah, but you just don't know what that. Maybe the guy dropped something on the floor, and he was trying to pick it up, and he slowed down, and then he moved on. And people ascribe a lot of importance to things that maybe a rational mind or a sensible mind. You get the paranoid types who kind of fly off the handle and believe, all these things are happening to them, and, end up probably self-generating some of it as well, or... But
it's very easy for people like that to assume that anything that happens becomes something against them if they're paranoid to begin with. And that's part of the... I almost went down that path myself many years ago, where I had a friend. How did this all start? I started reading this book. This is a fictional book. It's a vampire book called I, Vampire from Michael Romke. There's a plug. But in that book, he talked about the Illuminati, which I had at that point I had never heard of. I mean, I was still like in my late teens, early 20s. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
And now you're part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we know where you go.
It started with that, and then I started doing some research on the Illuminati and what have you, and I found out that they're an actual organization that existed and what have you. And it got to a point where I introduced a friend of mine to this sort of stuff, and then he sort of went off the bend with this stuff, like literally, right? And it almost got me too, because it got to a point where now I started, I felt myself literally like looking back every so often. And then I said to myself, you know what? I can't live like this. I'm not going to accomplish anything living like this. If such an organization, the Illuminati did actually exist, whether they still do or not today, who knows? I don't know. I don't care. And part of the reason being is me as an individual, lonely old me over here, probably aren't anywhere near their radar. Yeah, exactly. Like, who am I to even think that I would have any sort of impact on their existence that they want to come after me?
That guy Alex is wanting to out us. Yeah. We got to take care of him. Snuff him out.
I mean, it's that sort of me over the years, but not the Illuminati. But I've had fucking so much shit.
Yeah.
Because of researching military bases, I know they try to fuck with you. Yeah, but just your average individual, and people involved in paranormal, they don't, you don't tend to get fucked with if you investigating ghosts and things like that.
No, because they think you're crazy anyway to start with.
Yeah, so it's kind of a safe territory, really, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the real reason why I investigate the paranormal.
I think that the thing with that too is it's your approach. I mean, if you tell people that I'm looking for ghosts, of course they're gonna think you're fucked up. But if you're going and you're telling the people that no, I'm looking to disprove I'm looking to explain the explainable. I'm not actively looking for ghosts. I'm actively looking to explain exactly what's going on. Then they look at you and go, he's a little more sane about this.
You
Right?
don't want people to know you're sane. You want them to know that you're insane so that they leave you alone.
Well, I get it. It depends, right? I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, right? I mean, if you're talking to a guy like, say, let's pick somebody out of the hat here, like Dan Aykroyd.
Mm.
You're going to talk to him on his level,
Right?
Right? Because he knows you're sane. You're just as sane as he is. But if you're talking to like, say a cop or whatever, and you're creeping through a cemetery, and they pull over to see that you got your flashlight on going through the cemetery, and they run on up there and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Oh, I'm looking for ghosts.
That's when the paddy wagon comes.
Yeah, okay.
It helps when you've got a business card with you as well, I think.
Make sure you have a business card, But you're looking for what? Get the fuck in my car now.
The engineer, paranormal expert extraordinaire.
I do have a card.
It's funny, actually, because, I mean, police... I kind of think police are kind of sad individuals sometimes because they're looking for some sort of excitement. I think that's probably why they joined the force, is to, have some sort of excitement. And when you get a police officer, I've used this as a tactic, it works, right? You get pulled over, there's a flag on the system, so they pull you over. They don't know why the flag's on the system, but the flag's on the system. Fucking fuck with this guy, yeah?
There's a peeper.
It's looking for breasts.
Hey, John P. Adventures, how are you?
He's looking for ghost breasts.
My God, you're
Ghosts
X-ray.
often don't wear clothes, so they're the best. They just wander around,
So carry on, Matt. I want to hear the story.
So one of the tactics I've used quite successfully is, like get out of the car, smile, sort of like approach them, and they go like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm, looking for UFOs and, that sort of thing, and that's why we're here. Oh, UFOs. And they suddenly go, oh, yeah. And they want to talk to you about it. They want to tell you about their experience, and it's like, whenever I meet somebody like at an event, and kind of like they know you're into something, they want to tell you about their event, so they want to talk to you. Police are very much like this, and you can play on this because they want to know what's the action, where's the action going on, who can we arrest, and you go like, I'm a UFO researcher and I'm here because of the sighting that happened blah 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 over there, where something really exciting happening, and then turn it around and say, so you police, you probably get to see a lot of weird people out there and weird things. Have you ever had any UFO reports? And suddenly now they go, oh yeah, we have, and they want to talk to you, they want to engage you then because like, and it gets past a barrier and actually things turn to a positive level from being like, we've stopped you because we've been told to stop you, and now it's like, now you're chatting, and once you've got that rapport going, then things work out quite nicely, So, but police, they, as you said with the graveyard, they kind of, what the fuck you doing? But like once you've shown them that, oh no, actually, this is what I do, and they're like, oh yeah. You say, oh, have you ever seen any ghosts or had reports of ghosts? And often they have had people like ring them up and say like, I thought I hit somebody in the road. Oh, we had this with the police once. They said, yeah, there's a place down the road where people see a ghost run out into the road. They think they've hit it. They ring us saying, I think I just hit somebody. And they go, where are you? And they go, oh, it's that fucking place again, where everyone keeps hitting the person on the road, And the police know these stories because they're the people who end up getting the call, They can't explain it, but they know that that's a thing. So sometimes you can kind of turn people who are quite negative, they're looking at you like, are you a criminal? Are you trying to grave rob, or are you trying to break into that church, or do something, and you go like, no, and you can turn it round. I think a lot of people are like that, in general, when people are talking to you, they're like a bit standoffish, like, oh, he's the crazy guy. But then you go, oh yeah, but tell me about things that are happening in your life, and you start pointing out trigger things that might have happened to them, you know, and they go, oh yeah, actually, now I think about it, yeah, I have had some stuff like that happen to me. So everyone wants to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
But nobody wants to like jump in off the deep end and actually start becoming a researcher and being where you are, and then fully taking it on board. But it is a good way to kind of turn people around, unless of course they're really negative about it and they're like, no, you shouldn't be doing that, you know. But you don't find many of those.
I find it very intriguing, you know, going over the Canadian-U.S. border and going into the U.S. And, you know, especially if I'm going there to investigate a location or whatever else. And I remember there was a couple of times. I remember one time I was going to Iron Island Museum in Buffalo, New York. And, you know, I'm going over and get to the border, you know, give him the passports. And he's like, yeah, so where are you headed? Iron Island Museum. Oh, I know that place. Yeah, I know that place. My father used to live in that area. Oh, yeah, what are you doing there? Investigating the paranormal. What? You looking for ghosts? Well, not necessarily looking for ghosts, but we're looking to investigate the paranormal. Oh, really? Interesting. That place is haunted? Reportedly. Oh, wow. I'd have to tell my father that. He still lives in the area. You know, and they get so intrigued with it. You know, and this is a border patrol dude, right? This is like this guy, you know, most of these guys are like stern as shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, but most people, I think when you come back to Canada, they're a little bit more straight faced. I don't know what it is about the Canadian border dudes, but
yeah, they're fucking assholes.
They're a little bit more straight faced than the Americans. The Americans are a little bit more lax. And you know, but they get right into it. When you come back into the Canadian border, they go, what were you doing? I was investigating the paranormal. You get paid for that? No.
I wish.
Voluntary. Oh, really? Voluntary? Hey, do you got you know, papers? What kind of papers? Well, you know, where were you? I told you where I was. Well, do you got proof you were there? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck. Do you want? I could pull out my equipment now and I can show you the fucking video footage if you want. You know, and then if you're a smart ass like that, yeah, get over there now. Pull the car over. We're gonna have to search it. I actually had the guys so paranoid going over the Windsor Detroit bridge, and I told the guys, I said, they're probably going to pull us over on the American side because we got all this fucking infrared equipment and shit, right? They're going to think we're some, you know, whatever. I don't want to say that word, but, you know, and they're all like, holy fuck, are you serious? I'm just warning you now. You never know, right? So they're like literally pissing their pants as we're getting to the border. And, you know, we pull up to one of the lanes, and there was this big black guy. He was huge, man. Fucking muscle bound dude. Where are you? Canadian? Yeah, Canada. Where are you going? Waverly Hill Sanitarium. Where's that? Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, yeah. What are you doing there? Ghost hunting. I said ghost hunting because I knew it would really like set him off, right? Hey, don't. Pardon me? What'd you say? Ghost hunting. Really? You're going down to a fucking insane asylum on a long weekend to investigate the paranormal? Yeah. Really? Oh, okay. Cool. Have a good time. See you later. Guys,
I find it can be disarming sometimes, you know, because you know, either they're going to look down at you and think like, "Ha, stupid guy," but you know, like feel sorry for you, but go, "Ha, go on your silly ways," then you know, or they kind of engage you and you get into a conversation.
They really find it intriguing.
They want to talk, you know. There's nothing worse than a police officer on the side of the road wanting to fucking talk to you about this shit, and you've got to be like really like, yeah, this is what I do.
Well,
when you're like, fucking let me get back in my car and fuck off, please. But you've got to keep them going because it's kind of like,
Well, yeah,
I was doing.
I was doing research at this with the local historical society with this small little pioneer cemetery that was abandoned for years. I mean, the city owned it, but they never took care of it, so it laid waste and waste. And they're looking to, build a profile on this cemetery, like who's buried there, and so on, because the information was limited, and the stones were all weathered. They were weathered pretty bad, and some of them busted and not even in the proper positioning, and hiding in bushes along the border of this thing. It's only a small little place, but it laid in ruins. And in fact, the only way I was able to find like a more complete sort of book of information about this place was a guy, a geography dude. I can't remember, and he was just on his own. He volunteered to go into that place in the 80s, and he literally wrote down every name that he could find on the headstones, and so on and so on. And it's like that information that he was to gather was the most complete, even more complete than the cities or the historical societies. But it was still obviously pretty, like, it was incomplete. There was a lot of people that weren't accounted for. And I remember going in there some nights at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning when it's very quiet to do some audio work and so on and so on. And you'd constantly have cops stopping by, because it's in the middle of nowhere. And the cops see, okay, there are all these cars parked on the side of the road. Okay, what the fuck's going on here? And they'll come up and say, what are you guys doing? And you just say, no, we're just doing some audio work, just doing some research. What kind of research? Paranormal. Well, oh, okay. And then they're like, really? What kind of research? Like audio? Like, we're trying to collect what's known as, and you tell them electric voice phenomenon. And when you explain it to them, they're like, oh, wow, that's pretty neat. And most of the time they'll just say, okay, we'll just don't be too long, and take off. They don't, most of the time they don't bother you.
Yeah.
And that you kind of work up a rapport, because they see you a lot and they say, hey, okay, it's them. They know what you're doing. After a while, they don't bother you. Right? I mean, obviously you do have your pricks. You have your pricks. You have your guys like, get the fuck out of here. You're disturbing shit. Get out of here. Right? I'm not disturbing anyone. Even the people that live in the house right over there attached to it, they love what we're doing. They're happy we're doing this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but,
you get some dick cops.
Yeah. Well, Matt, you've had to deal with a few of them.
I prefer older cops, like the ones that really piss me off are the young ones, because they're so inexperienced. They feel like they've got to be doing, they've got to be finding something wrong, and it's kind of like they're overzealous, overeager, and they're, but like your old timers, they've seen everything. They kind of like, oh yeah, this is nothing, this is harmless, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, inexperienced cops or people who probably got into it for the wrong reason, and everyone's a criminal.
Yeah,
exactly. Show me a person, I can find the criminal in them. It's kind of that type of cop. Yeah.
I'm not taking any of your shit. Get the fuck in the back of my seat, back of my car now. Yeah. They don't even want to hear an explanation. Fuck off. They're wasting my time. Get in the car now. Get in the car.
Models in there.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's sad. It's like these guys, these cops that that are looking for the quotas, speeding tickets.
Yeah.
They're just fuck you. I need a couple. I need a couple fucking victims, and that's all. You just happen to be one of those victims. Tough luck.
Yeah, and sadly, going out late at night, when nobody else is around because all the 9 to 5ers, they've all gone to bed, and you're the only person around who happens to be in a car, so you must be up to no good. You get that sort of shit, and it's like, no, I love the night. The night's the best time because
Ah,
there's nobody
yeah.
around, and this is when would you look for UFOs? Best times at night.
Exactly. I mean, I used to work nights. I used to work the midnight shift, and the nights I was off, I used to go out and explore. I'm wide awake. I'm gonna go out and I'm going to explore, do some night photography, whatever. I would do whatever. And I remember one time I was this old, you know, in the countryside there, just north of me, and I was parked beside this old cemetery, just this old pioneer cemetery, different one. And it's in the middle, just farm field all around. And just a small little corner of this road, a bend. And inside the bend was this cemetery. So I was just taking some photos and so on and so on. And then all of a sudden you hear the coyotes down in the field down below. There's like a lowered field, and you can hear a whole group of them. There was a few of them, and you can hear a whole bunch of like whining. I'm like, oh shit, man, I better get in the fucking car because they're getting close. And it was really eerie because all of a sudden, this mist started like rolling in because I guess it was starting to warm up a little. So, being cool all night long, warming up, it created this mist. And it was like, rolling in. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely getting in the car because I can't even see if these coyotes are close or not, but you can hear them. So I got in my car and I'm sitting in the car and I'm getting ready to take off. And then all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 coyotes just run right by the car on the road down and then go back into the field. I'm like, wow, that was fucking freaky. Because you don't see them because of the fog, right? But I don't know where did that one came from, but I just
there was a really nice
you having one of your days.
Yeah.
There's a really nice policewoman used to come up when we used doing the regular sky watches, which we did for many years. And I lived in my car up on this hill for a while. I actually just like slept in my car, lived up there. I was up every night, and some nights people would come. We'd have a campfire, and we'd just be standing there watching out in the sky. And this policewoman, a few police came up, but then like recurringly, this policewoman used to come up. Her name was Mags Gavan or whatever, and she was like, oh yeah, what you seen, kind of like chatting stories about weird shit, and got friendly with her, and she said, I think I got a ghost in my house, it's something to do with I got a well. And it seems to be to do with the well. And I said, oh, like, hey, the well, the gateway to the well and all that. So we were chatting about it. And eventually, became such, good friends with her because she was back and forth, when she was on her shift, looking out, make sure nothing was going on. She'd pop up, we'd have a chat. She said, if you want to come down and check out this ghost in my house, you can come down. And I spent a nice night in her house, slept on her settee, in this room where this thing was going to happen, if it was going to happen. And she said, oh, I've got cats, but they're really unfriendly. They don't like any strangers, so they'll leave you alone. They won't be near you. They don't like people. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went to sleep and I woke up in the middle of the night. And this cat was on my lap, and I was like, whoa, oh, shit, And this cat was kind of like, making a fuss, nuzzling me and sort of like all this. And I was like, oh, right, cool. And I looked into the corner of the room and there's a fucking shadow standing there, And I was like, whoa. So I was just looking at it. I'm like, right, I'm not going to take my eyes off it, And I'm like looking at it. And then it kind of dissipated. And the moment it dissipated, the cat jumped off and ran out the room. And it was almost like the cat was there trying to tell me that something was there
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
my attention.
yeah,
And yeah, kind of interesting. But that's like a nice police person, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And when they take off that hat and they stop, you know, being the officious police person and start, you know, being a friendly police person, they can be okay. But you know,
Yeah.
I think my experiences with police have been very mixed because you know when
Mm.
they're in that job role, they're very officious, you know, and
Yeah.
you're a criminal. I'm gonna prove it any way I can, and they get on their fucking high horses and you know
Did
determined to
you
fuck with you some way. You know.
did you ever find out what that shadow was?
No, but I've seen shadow figures like that a few times. You know, in places. I've not
Mm.
seen a full torso figure, but I've seen these shadow figures quite a few times. Yeah.
I think I've only, I would say, officially seen one once, and it was again, it was in that cemetery, that Pioneer Cemetery. We were up there, and I was taking some photos. I was taking some photos, and the group had split into two, and you know, split into two, and you know, I was walking in one direction, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm snapping some photos, and in the photo there was two people, but in front of me there was three. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Take another picture, same thing. What the hell? Who the hell's in between myself and hey, Mike? Where's so and so? Oh, he's down there with the other guys. Okay, so who's in between us? And as soon as I said that, the shadow in between us veered off into the corner of the cemetery and totally disappeared. It was really fucking, and I'm thinking, what the fuck did I just witness? Okay, is it just maybe my mind playing games with me, or there's a light down the street light? Maybe it was my shadow casting. What, you know? So I immediately tried to recreate it, and of course I couldn't recreate it. I'm like, okay, did I just see a shadow person? That was pretty freaky shit, you know. But yeah, anyways, we'll have to end this, guys. It's 11 o'clock.
Oh my god.
Oh, time
Yeah.
flies, man.
Yeah, it flies. It does. Matt, I want to thank you for popping on up, man.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure having you on, man. And you know, you're always welcome.
You got to get rid of that
Yes.
sadomasochistic mic of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what causes it, but yeah, it does happen from time to time. I've cleaned the connectors, I've resoldered it, and it just keeps happening. So I don't know. It's just freak mic.
Freak Mike. The freaks come out at night. Yeah, there you go. The freaks come out at night. Yeah, well, I want to thank everybody for you know, tuning in to the New Visions Radio Network, and of course watching us here on YouTube. We're back next Sunday with our Halloween special. With our Halloween, more information on that as we secure it. It looks like it's going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about horror movies, Matt, with a good
Probably
friend of
talk
mine.
about horror movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love horror movies.
Yeah, so we'll probably
Just wish
be...
there were some better ones rather
I
than
know.
the same old formula type
I know.
out there. Yeah.
I know.
I like horror movies. Oh, sorry, horror movies as well.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Horrors. I like horrors. And beer.
Horror movies. I love
Yeah.
those horror movies. Those horror
Yeah,
movies are
Those
great.
horror movies are really good.
Goddamn stack. I got a stack of them in the corner of my room over here. There's some of those horror movies.
Horrors, beers, and Kleenex.
Yeah, Kleenex.
That's what I like.
Dear, why is there always a Kleenex in your... Anyways, guys. Matt, thank you again, man. Take
Cheers,
care.
guys.
Take care.
And
Cheers, chat.
we'll see you next Sunday. I'm sure we'll see you through the week or whatever. I'm off for 2 weeks, so hey, I'm probably
Anything can happen.
anything can happen. I'm going to be throwing up as much content as possible, probably, because I'm definitely going to be doing a little bit of exploring over the next 2 weeks. So until then, guys, take care, and we'll see y'all later.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.